Good morning.
And the clock strikes 10 in the background.
Sorry, I have my volume turned down there. What was that?
It said, and the clock strikes 10.
Rock strikes 10.
Morning, Judge.
I'm on a Zoom. All right. Thank you. Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Always great to be with you.
One more time.
One more time.
One more time. Yeah, we kind of talked about this meeting and thought we're safe to meet together, but it's safe today. And how's Jessica?
Good, thank you.
Good.
I've got the honorable great treasurer, Michelle Ray, with me, and Jared Holland, the esteemed Jared Holland, is also in our company.
Wow.
He's going to have to duck out and go to the post office here in a minute. The treasurer doesn't let him miss any deposits. You know, on that segregation of duties. We're all about segregation of duties.
And that's the way we get it done, right, Judge?
You got to get it done right.
Amen. All right. Well, good morning, Mr. Parker.
Hey, good morning, sir. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm doing well. Scott, looks like we've got everybody on here. So why don't we go ahead and call our meeting to order? Jessica, if you could please let the minutes show that all commissioners are present, no proxies necessary. And thanks for the screen share, Scott. Scott emailed us the packet. You had a copy of the minutes of our last meeting of 2/16. Is there a motion for approval of those minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Billy Parker. I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Motion being duly made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Well, even Cooper voted for that. Sorry. I'll mute as necessary. Moving on, Scott, looks like we've got one refund greater than $10,000.
Yes, that is correct. You should see it on your screen here. This particular refund is $14,093.08. It's a payroll refund request. You can see the city and county splits on this refund. There is no school board component to this. This particular employee is due to the employee traveling extensively through North America last year after we did a complete audit review of the request. The recommendation of the Revenue Commission staff is that we approve this refund for $14,093.08.
Is there a motion for approval?
Go ahead, Billy. I'm going to let you jump out there.
I was going to say I didn't feel right since I'm not the one getting hit here, but
No.
Sure, I'll make that motion.
And I'll second that motion.
Thank you. All in
And
favor?
follow the recommendation of staff.
There you go.
All right. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Scott, we had some pretty interesting conversations yesterday with the current membership of our Business Park Authority. And we were talking about future structures and future activities. And one of the comments that Kim Minke brought up that is an issue that's being widely studied is this thing where so many people are going to continue working remotely that it's really going to have an effect on how we collect and how much we collect in payroll taxes. And the amount of reporting that we're going to have to share so we don't leak like a sieve here.
Yes,
That's what y'all's concern, I think.
Yes, it's something we've been watching for quite a while. It's really a nationwide situation with this remote working and where the taxes are, where the work is actually being performed, which is what occupational license tax is based on, where the work is performed. We, of course, had House Bill 249, which allows us to share that information with other jurisdictions within the Commonwealth. I've been tracking that. There wasn't much, as I shared with you before, the first 6 months, there wasn't much of an impact to us, people working from home and the refunds that we were giving regarding that. As I mentioned at the time, that the next 6 months of this fiscal year, where we're in right now, which is our busiest refund time. That'll be where the rubber meets the road and we really have a better sense of what the impact is to us here locally. You're always going to have, especially with our largest employer and the North American engineering headquarters located here, a lot of these folks are traveling extensively throughout North America, as this particular individual in the refund you just approved. But there are a mix now. They may be traveling in Canada and Mexico, but they may also be working from home a couple of days a week, or 3 to 5 days a month, or whatever their schedule permits. So I'll be reporting out to you as the data presents itself based on the actual refunds that we're receiving. Another thing too we've had is we've started to have a lot of employers, and including some universities, reach out to us because the employers are realizing that they're going to have to change how they're doing their reporting, and ultimately it is their responsibility to withhold correctly. My wife works for a large health insurance company, and they sent out an email in January informing all their employees to get ready and start looking at your pay stubs, because if you're working from home, they're going to start withholding correctly, and that may mean you may be paying more in local tax, less in local tax, or about the same, depending on where you live. So a lot of employers are looking at this. And as I mentioned, we've also had a couple of major universities reach out to us as they have employees that are living here in Scott County and working. So.
Yeah, I think that this will be a trend that affects this commission for the next few years to come.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Item 5, Scott, a regulations update.
Yes, this is just a verbal update. We're very, very close. I think we're down to one primary issue that we're trying to get the language correct. The plan is, once we have that finalized and we're ready, we'll give you several weeks advance to preview this. So I don't know that that'll be for April's meeting. It might be May at the latest, but we want to give you several weeks. It's a large document. What are we, Jessica, 139 pages?
Believe so, yes.
Yeah. So it's a large document, very down in the weeds, but I want to give you plenty of time to peruse that before we request that you approve these regulations moving forward. So that's the only real update I had there. If anyone has any questions about the regs, I'd be happy to answer them.
Yeah, just look forward to receiving them.
Okay.
And if there are no questions there, Lockbox update.
Yes, we've extended our RFP another month. We thought that was wise. We had one bank that was very interested in putting in some information on this particular bid that we're putting out. We wanted to honor that. We want as much participation as possible. It is a very large bank as well. So works out better for us schedule wise because we're in our busy season now. So we will have our closing at 2 p.m. on April 29th. So we're very excited about that. We've had a lot of questions. So hopefully we'll have a lot of good activity with that RFP.
Good. That'll be a huge step forward for you all operationally.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions on the Lockbox? Commissioners, I'm kind of running through this. Stop me if I'm going too fast.
No, you're good.
Item 7, Scott, our managed service provider.
Yes, what we're doing here is requesting an approval to switch from our current method of engaging this company on an ad hoc block purchase basis to a 1-year professional services agreement, similar to what we have with our IT provider, Sophisticity VC3. I did attach the agreement to the packet that went out Friday. It's just 10 pages. I did just want to give you one overview here. This tax database that we use is called FileMaker, which comes from a company called Claris, which is an Apple subsidiary. These are some of their customers, this DB services that we're wanting to contract with: Amazon, Drake University, Eli Lilly, IU, even Toyota, as well as the U.S. Library of Congress. So a very reputable firm. We've been very happy with them. But essentially the reason we're taking this step is that when we first started with them a couple of years ago, we were engaging them at an hourly rate of $175 an hour and buying 10-hour blocks. And that worked well for what we were doing at the time. But we're moving into a little bit more advanced work here in the pipeline, and they have done really some great things, and we're on the verge of doing some even better things moving forward. But that hourly rate on an ad hoc basis is now $220 an hour. So I approached them some weeks back and see if we could talk about some additional billing options. This was their best option, is we would go to a 1-year service agreement. Sorry, I don't want to make anybody dizzy there, but essentially this is the breakdown. We would go to a 1-year service agreement, which would guarantee us 15 hours a month. And anything we would go over, we would also be locked in now at the $185 rate instead of the ad hoc 220. So we would be paying $185 an hour for the 15 hours a month. And if we were to go over, it would still be $185 an hour. This 1-year agreement would take us obviously to this time next year, and 2023 is the year when we would be looking at potentially putting out another RFP for new tax software, depending on where we are and what improvements we're able to make over the next year. So a lot of advantages to this. We get 2-hour priority emergency support, more direct access, video conferencing, an annual strategy meeting. We think it's kind of a no-brainer at this point to go ahead and make this step over the next year. The monthly commitment is $27.75 for the 15 hours. And this is what we're requesting approval to move forward with executing this agreement. And I'd be happy to answer any questions. Jessica's also been working with them very closely on one particular item that we're very excited about that we may have up and rolling here very shortly.
Good. Any questions for Scott or Jessica? Scott, are you confident we'll use the 15 hours monthly?
Yes, we've got some really exciting things. We had one person we were working with early on. He was good, but this young lady we're working with now is just outstanding. So I think so. Plus, we haven't even really scratched the surface on some of the reporting things. This is more the day in, day out operations. We've not really scratched the surface on my long laundry list of reporting needs that I would like to see fulfilled. So I don't foresee us having any problem using the 15 hours a month.
Great. Is there a motion for approval?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Judge. If there are no questions, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries.
Thank you all very much.
And so you're going, you've got a COLA seminar.
Yes, sir, that's correct. This year it's going to be a little bit later in the month, May 20th, which is a Friday. It will be at the CAECO Training Center in Frankfurt. We're requesting permission to close the office and take all staff. It's always a very good training opportunity with no cost involved. There's no cost for us to take everyone. It's a free seminar. Lunch is provided, and it's just a one-day event, of course, very close to Georgetown. We think it's a great opportunity.
Great. So is there a motion to close the office to attend the tax training?
Motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And here, no opposed, I think. Scott, that is one fancy training room that CAECO building has. Judge, I'm sure you've been over there a bunch. That is one nice facility.
Nope, that is a nice building designed by none other than Branstetter Carroll.
Yeah.
Well, we at COLA, we have used that almost every year in the 14 years I've been involved, even when I was at Louisville Metro. And it is an excellent facility, well designed, great tech, great catering facilities. It's just obviously a lot of thought went into that. We're always excited to go there.
Yeah, it's an easy in and out for a lot of people, too.
Absolutely. And centrally located, because people will come from all over the state to attend it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good. All right. We're to item 9, general discussion.
All right.
Well, I noticed we were down.
Yes, we were.
Is that an anomaly or is that for real?
Well, it's for real. We were down for in February about 7%, but I will remind you, we were in January up 17% across the board. So we're still in positive territory for the third quarter of this fiscal year, but we're watching March very closely to see how we wind up. for the third quarter, and we'll have another quarterly and how we're doing for the fiscal year analysis at next month's meeting. But we are still in positive territory overall for this quarter because January was so positive. These are, of course, require no board action. Couple of things here, the KEDFA and BSSC reports. You'll see the KEDFA project here, and again, I sorted it by the most recent date. Still no new projects in the pipeline so far this year. They met at the end of February, and we don't have any. You can feel free to look through this, but there's been no changes on this particular report, which is the projects that would impact us, and we would potentially have wage inducement credits there. However, there is a second part of this report I also wanted to share with you, the BSSC. Now, this does not have anything that we would be issuing credits on, although there are some tax credits. That's what TC stands for. The vast majority of these are GIA, which is grants and aid. We do have 3 that were approved in February, $75,000 each. This is Piston Automotive, which is a private company. And then we also have 2 training consortiums, Bluegrass and Kentucky Alliance. These are 501c3 nonprofits that do training, and these are very common throughout the state. There's one in the Cumberland Valley, one in South Central Kentucky, which I believe encompasses Bowling Green. But I did want to bring that to your attention. Again, no Revenue Commission impact on these Bluegrass State Skills Corporation projects, but there were 3 approvals for Scott County in February I wanted to share with you.
Thank you.
The January tax incentive summary here, as is usually the case, January is the month where they reach the cap, which is the case, the 1.2 million for the city, the 1.2 million for the county. So there will be no reimbursements for the next 2 months. And that is pretty standard. This particular employer's fiscal year ends this month on the 31st. So it will be May before we'll get another report where we will need to issue reimbursement checks on this payroll tax credit.
Has anyone heard any news or any update on when this incentive package structure might change?
I have not. I've not heard anything from KEDFA in Frankfurt.
Judge,
I've not heard anything, Mayor.
Wonder if they'll cover that during our update.
Guess we could ask.
Yeah. They're trying to change that date again. We scheduled it on top of a chamber luncheon.
Almost think, could we just not find a place to hang around and meet after the chamber luncheon? I didn't suggest that.
Yeah, Arlene saw the conflict and let them know, so they're working on some, and it may be that.
Is there talk that they'll go back to the standard reimbursement of $2.5 million per jurisdiction?
That we have gotten no details,
okay,
Scott, other than we anticipate learning something.
Okay. Well, of course, if I hear anything, I'll share it with all of you.
Yeah, and vice versa.
Just a footnote here, we did our monthly training is still going on. Actually, it's going to be this week here in March. And February, it was a very good training that Jessica did on auditing net profit returns, the one specifically with real estate, which can get kind of complicated. So that training is working very well. We're making good use of our conference room. So let's move on to the February stats. As we talked about, February was down 7.5% overall. You can see the city, county, and school board were all also down. Again, I went back and looked at the January numbers I shared with you last month, and we were up 17% across the board, except for the school board. I think they were up 19%. Superintendent Parker, I think you all had an exceptional month in January. So again, we're in positive territory overall for the third quarter, with even including the February downward trend, but we're watching that very closely, and we'll continue to report out to you.
And we have to finish strong, Scott. We got to finish strong.
Well, I've also reached out to Greg Harkenrider, who is at the state budget office. He and I communicate occasionally on these matters, and I'm curious to see if the state is also seeing some of what we talked about last month, the decrease in payroll. Again, not because businesses are closing or layoffs are happening, but because across all business sectors, people cannot find adequate staffing. So I'm waiting to hear back from him to see if the state is seeing something very similar. I anticipate the answer will be yes, but I don't know. And if so, I don't know what the numbers will be until he and I speak. And then here's the new and closed businesses. We had 74 new businesses open in February, 45 closed. So as of right now, we are at 157 for the first 2 months. This same time last year, we were at 119. And I'll remind you that last year was a historic year. We broke 1,000 new businesses last year. And so we're already trending to beat that again. We are still high on the closures, but as you can see, they're trending down. Some of the notices that we sent out in the fourth quarter of 2021, they're still trickling in, let's say. So people are a little slow to respond to some of those. So, but it is trending down as we anticipated would be the case. So we're averaging so far this year 79 new businesses every month and 52 accounts that are being closed with the first 2 months of the year. So, any question on that?
No, sir. Continues to be robust.
Yes. And that's all I have for the general discussion.
Good. Thank you, Scott. Jessica, do you have anything for general discussion?
No. Scott covered everything.
No. Billy?
Nope, nothing general discussion. As far as this meeting goes, we've been, education legislation has been interesting the past couple of days. So that's been dominating our time.
I'm glad that that's dominating your time. It should. Some of that stuff's a little concerning.
Yep.
Judge?
Oh, I hope the SEEK formula monies stay with our local districts. Would you agree with that, Mr. Parker?
I'd agree with it, but I don't think that's going to be the case.
Well,
I sent a text this morning to our representative, and I got a long explanation of why this wasn't harmful. So I hope that remains true.
Yeah, I believe there's been conversation within one party in particular where they've got everybody convinced that it's only going to impact a couple of large urban districts, and I'm not so sure that's the case, but we'll see.
That's what I was assured this morning.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, Superintendent Parker, I can tell you the COLA meeting we're going to in May, there will be a legislative update there. Of course, JD Cheney from KLC is always there. Shelley Hampton from KCO and Eric Kennedy from the Kentucky School Board Association is always there. So we'll get a complete debrief at that time for sure.
Yep. Eric's sharp. Eric's the only one of that bunch that I'm familiar with, but he's sharp.
Yeah, Eric's great. And we started actually in 2019 having him as one of our regulars to come to the legislative update, since we do have in our state tax association 6 or 7 different jurisdictions that we collect for, of course, Scott County being one of them. But so they're always anxious to hear from him. He's very sharp, very, very attuned, very connected in Frankfurt.
Yep.
Those 3 perspectives, I would think, would give you a pretty solid outlook.
Absolutely. We always have them in the spring and the fall.
Good. Anything else to come before the board this morning? Anyone?
I'll make it a motion to adjourn if there's nothing else to bring forward.
Sounds good.
I will second that.
And we can vote with our click button. Thank you.
All right. See everybody on the 27th.